Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today I'm going to be doing a hardware review for you. Now, for those of you who have been following my channel for a long time, you'll know I've done a few hardware reviews in the past, but rest assured I will have some Battlefield 3 footage in here because it's always related to Battlefield 3. Now, today I'm going to be reviewing and showing some footage from the Avermedia Game Broadcaster HD. This is a capture card specifically designed for recording gameplay off of consoles or off of PCs. In fact, you can even record off of an iPad, I believe. And for my specific purposes, I wanted to record my Battlefield 3 gameplay off of one PC onto another. We all know how resource intensive Battlefield 3 is, so having a program like Fraps running in the background on your gaming PC can really lag things up. So I've got a secondary computer set up with editing hardware, and I'm going to go ahead and just record onto that PC and then just game on a PC that's designed specifically for Battlefield 3 and nothing else. The card itself is pretty tiny, and on the back it has a VGA input which connects to a VGA to analog adapter. That's good for consoles and other bits of hardware that has encoded video signals. You can break it down to analog and then re-import it as analog, so you don't have any of the HDMI problems with the console systems. Now on PC, I just output on an HDMI signal and then again input it back to this card on HDMI. So I keep things digital, and that's the way I like it. Now, unfortunately, this card doesn't have its own audio input. The way you get audio to the recording software is you just have to plug in something to the mic jack on your PC, which is a 35mm input. This unfortunately really complicates the way to get audio to the system if you're on a more advanced gaming rig. Personally, I use a 5.1 surround sound headset, and that outputs on an optical channel, so I have to find a way to convert Toslink to a 2-channel output and then turn that output into a 35mm jack. I had to buy an extra piece of hardware to do that. I know a lot of other capture cards come with Toslink inputs, and that would have just allowed me to simply split my Toslink and make the whole audio process much simpler. So now in the software, although it's not particularly intuitive, it does allow you to real-time encode in H.264, or you can encode in MPEG-2 or AVI. You have a lot of different encoding formats, which is really great and gives you a lot more options than programs like Fraps. Now, this footage that you're watching right here is recorded with the card with the MPEG-2 codec, and that is recorded at the highest quality possible with that codec from this card. What's great about it is that I get a very small file size compared to, again, a program like Fraps. The image quality is not quite as crisp as Fraps, but for YouTube purposes it is more than adequate. In fact, I don't think you guys are going to be able to notice any difference between Fraps and this card. And I'm able to fit about 5 times as much footage on my hard drive encoding with MPEG-2 instead of Fraps. I'm not really sure what the Fraps codec was. I think it's actually it's a specially designed codec on their part. Now, I tried the H.264 codec on the highest settings with this card, and I have to say I was a little disappointed. I get much nicer H.264 results when encoding from Premiere, and the H.264, even on highest settings, were much lower than this MPEG-2. Now, it would have been nice to record directly to H.264, as I would have gotten even smaller video files, but I'm actually pretty happy with the quality of the MPEG-2s, and an MPEG-2 is an extremely robust video codec. A lot of video editors work really well with the MPEG-2, and unless you're running Premiere or some of the more expensive or advanced video editing software, a lot of them can't handle the H.264 quite as well. Another cool thing about this card is that you might notice that the footage is a little bit more saturated than my usual videos. I was able to crank up the saturation a little bit on my gaming computer and then leave it normal on my recording computer. So the recording computer is receiving some nice highly saturated video footage from my gaming machine, and then I don't have to edit with an overly saturated monitor. Now, I researched quite a few capture cards before deciding to get this one here, and I have to say Avermedia is one of the few companies that actually does the 1080p progressive recording format. A lot of guys do interlaced, and frankly interlaced really sucks for editing, and I think this is probably the best PC capture card out there. Avermedia is also coming out with another really cool capture card that's supposed to do all the video encoding on the card itself, so you don't have to tax your computer. This means that you should be able to put a card in your computer that will record your gameplay and not lag your gameplay. This is huge for Battlefield 3 players, especially since the game is so resource intensive. You guys are probably used to 1080p really high quality footage on my channel, and this card is not only going to keep the footage looking great, but it's also going to really speed up my workflow. Now, at the time of making this video, February 22nd, 2012, the card is retailing for about $150 on Amazon, and it's a pretty good deal. A lot of the other cards retail for around $200, and this one does just as much as them, and it frankly does a better job, at least from what I hear. In the video description, I've gone ahead and linked the product page for this card and the Amazon retail page, so you guys can go ahead and check out the reviews there if you want, and all the specific info about the card itself. All my future video game footage is going to be recorded off of this card, so if you guys are wondering how I got the quality so nice and smooth, it's because I'm using this awesome new Game Broadcaster HD video card. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.